welcome to my channel. My name is Diamond. I'm the creator behind Diamond's Enchanted World. I'm a witch and I'm obsessed with fiber, so I guess you can just call me a fiber art witch. And today I'm super excited to share with you my first pattern, and it's called the All-Seeing Eye. This pattern came to me in a dream, and I literally jumped out of bed and I went and sketched it out, and I spent all day trying to recreate it, and this is the end result. I am really obsessed with eyes, so I just made my obsession of eyes into a work of art. So today, for this pattern, you are going to need size 4 black yarn, size 4 colored yarn, whatever color you want. I did several different colors, so it's really up to you. You are also going to need size 4 white yarn and a 16" hoop, a 5mm hoop, hook, and a 6mm hook, and then a knitting needle, chopstick, a smaller crochet hook than a 6mm hook, and a hair tie, rubber band, whatever you want to use to connect your knitting needle to your 6mm hook. And we are going to do this when we get to the round with our bullion stitches. It just makes it go faster and you get a cleaner stitch, and I will explain all of that later on in the video. We are going to do this video in parts. We are going to do the black part of your eye, the colored part of your eye, and then the white part of your eye, and then the eyeliner. Now, all of this is very customizable. You can do whatever color you want here. The eyeliner doesn't necessarily have to be black. It's whatever you like and however you want to do it. For this one, I did an eye burst with black yarn instead of the white yarn that I usually do. And you can change all of this however you want it. It's just what I give you as a suggestion, and you can go crazy and change up and do different things like you want. And for the bottom parts, I do yarn, just plain yarn. I do like a little macrame piece, or sometimes I won't even put anything at the bottom, or I would do like a bigger macrame piece. It's whatever you really want to do, and once again, that's up to you on how you would like to do that. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bell. I will be posting videos about knitting and crocheting and macrame, and most importantly, how I use fiber arts to manifest my aspirations, dreams, or stuff that I want to happen in my life. As you can see, this video is quite long, and that's because I really try to describe and go into great detail about each section of this pattern so that a adventurous beginner can even try to recreate this. So I will have timestamps for each part, so if you end up needing to stop the video and come back later, you won't have to go through the whole thing. So look in the description box for the timestamps. And also, if you would like a written copy of this pattern, I do have it on my blog, and I will also put the link down below. And you can follow along with the written pattern on the blog and the video, or you can just do the written pattern, whatever floats your boat. And I can't wait to see everyone's creations with this and their variations of like the colors and what you decide to do with it. You can tag me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and let me see your beautiful work. And if you have any questions, you can message me on all of those platforms, or you can leave a comment below, and I will do my best to answer your questions as soon as possible. So grab your black yarn and grab your 5mm hook, and let's get started. Okay, so let's get started with part 1. So you're going to need your 5mm hook and your black yarn. And to start off, we are going to make a magic circle. I will show you how I do my magic circle. I'm not going to do it too slow, so if you need extra help learning how to do a magic circle, comment below and I will make a separate video for that. So to start off with, I put my yarn right here at my pinky finger and I wrap my yarn around my 3 fingers. I turn my hand over and then I wrap it around again, but I make sure I wrap it around this front strand of yarn and make sure I go behind it. And then I wrap it around my pinky finger and I grab it with my thumb. You insert your hook underneath the first strand and grab the back strand, and as you're grabbing it, you're going to want to twist it up like that, and then you're going to want to grab the strand that is on your pinky finger, which is still the back strand, grab it and pull it through that loop you just made. And that is a magic circle. Pull it a little tight but not too tight. Okay, so you are going to want to chain 3, and your chain 3 counts as your first double crochet, and you are going to want to make 11 double crochets inside of your magic circle. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So you should have a total of 12 double crochets with your chain 3 counted as your first one. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's kind of hard to see this black yarn, but I will try to do a close-up on it. So at the end, you are going to slip stitch into the top of your beginning chain 3. And then that ends round 1. I like to pull on the yarn where we made to close up the magic circle, just so that the hole will be a little bit smaller. Okay, so for round 2, you are going to chain 4. And this chain 4 counts as your first treble. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to place a treble in the same stitch as the chain 4. And to do a treble, you are going to yarn over twice. 1, 2, and then we're going to put it into the same stitch as the chain 4. Might be a little tight, but just work it in there. And then to continue the treble, you yarn over twice, and then you insert your hook, you pull up the loop, and you go through 3 times. So like a double crochet, you do it twice, and a treble, you would do it 3 times. So I will show that where it can make sense. Okay, so before I show you, to continue, you are going to put 2 trebles in each stitch around, and you should have 24 trebles to end the round. So I will show you a treble, how to do a treble right now, and then place all of your 2 trebles in each stitch around, and then meet me at the end. But I will show you how to do a treble right now. So yarn over twice, 1, 2, then you insert your hook into the stitch, grab your yarn and pull up a loop. Now you have 4 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then you're going to yarn over again, pull through another 2 loops, and then you're going to yarn over again and pull through your last 2 loops, and that is a treble. So go ahead and put 2 trebles in each stitch around and meet me back at the end, and so that we can fasten off. Okay, so you are ready to fasten off now. You just finished putting your 2 tribbles in each stitch around, and this is what it would look like. So to fasten off, to finish up part 1, you are going to slip stitch into the top of your chain, beginning chain 4. Just like that, and then fasten off. You can place a stitch marker right here because this is where we are going to begin part 2, the iris. Or if you can just know that's where you need to start, you don't need to place a stitch marker. So put your 5mm hook to the side and grab your 6mm hook and your knitting needle or crochet hook or chopstick. I like to attach my knitting needle. I use a knitting needle with a rubber band so that it's not flying all the way over the place when I'm doing my bouillon stitches. Okay, so grab, and you're going to need your colored yarn of your choice. I am using Red Heart Polo Stripe, it's one of my favorite colorways. So you are going to make a slip knot. Well, you don't need to. This is how I attach my yarn. I found this way to be very sturdy and it doesn't move. So I attach it by making a slip knot, and I make a slip knot like this. I wrap the yarn around my pointer finger twice, just like this. And then I grab the front strand and I put it over the back strand, and then I grab the back strand and I pull it up, and there is your slip knot. I put my slip knot onto my hook and I tighten it up, and then I put my hook into the designated stitch. So for this pattern I am going to put it into where we fastened off at, and it's going to be tight, fair warning, because you just fastened off there. So put your hook into that stitch, and then you are going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So now you have 2 loops on your hook, and then you are going to pull that loop through the loop that was already on your hook, and that's how I attach my yarn. Okay, so you are going to chain 3 to begin round 3 of this. So chain 3. And chain 3 does not count as a stitch. It's just where we're going to slip stitch into, but it does not count as a stitch. So you are going to place a bouillon stitch into the same stitch as the chain 3. So I am going to show you how to do a bouillon stitch, but once again I'm not going to go super slow, and if you need help learning how to do it, just comment below and then I will make a separate video for that as well. So to do a bouillon stitch, you are going to yarn over 7 times, and when you yarn over, make sure to yarn over your crochet hook and your knitting needle or whatever you choose to use. So yarn over 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're going to insert your hook, only your hook, not your needle, into the stitch. You're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop, and then you're going to take all 7 of these loops right here, and you're just going to slide it right off, just like that. And then you're going to have 2 loops on your crochet hook, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through both of those loops. This is why I love using a knitting needle, because it's just so much faster to do these bouillon stitches. And then that's what it looks like. There you go. So to finish off this round, you're going to put two bouillon stitches into the next stitch, and then 1 bouillon stitch into the next stitch. So it's going to be 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So do that, and I will meet you at the end before you fasten off. But I will show you how I do the bouillon stitches one more time before we do that. So yarn over 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Insert your hook into the stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Now take all 7 of those loops off of your knitting needle, just like that. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both loops. Just as easy as that. It's super easy if you use something like a needle or a chopstick. It makes it go by so much faster. So I do that one more time. Yarn over 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then insert your hook, and you're going to insert it in the same stitch as you just did the last one, because it's 1, 2, just like that. Yarn over, pull up a loop, take all 7 loops off of your hook, have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both of those loops, just like that. And it comes out so much cleaner, so you don't have all these big loop, small loop, big loop. Okay, so finish going all the way around, doing 1 bowling yarn stitch in 1 stitch, 2 bowling yarn stitches in the next stitch, 1 bowling yarn stitch in 1 stitch, and so on. You get it. You get what I mean. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And before you fasten off, hit play and we will fasten off together. Okay, you just finished putting all your bowling yarn stitches end around, and now we are at the end. This is what it looks like. And now we are ready to fasten off. So you are going to fasten off into the top, not fasten off, I'm sorry. You are going to close this round by slip stitching into the beginning chain 3. Just like this. Slip stitch right into that, and round 3 is done. And this is what it looks like. It's so pretty. I just love the bowling yarn stitches. It really just brings it out, and it's like a kind of like a 3D effect. Okay, so for round 4, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And for this round, you are going to place bowling yarn stitches into the back loop and 3rd loop around. So you're going to place 1 bowling yarn stitch in each stitch in the back and 3rd loop. So for the 3rd loop, it is, you see this V right here? Let's see if I can get it not to be blurry. Okay, you see this V right here that you make with the stitches? You're going, that is, the back part is considered the back loop, and then when you turn it over, this little, let's see, this little buddy right here, that is the 3rd, considered the 3rd loop. So what you're going to do is, you're going to yarn over 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you are going to put your hook in the back loop, just like that. And this little buddy right here, the 3rd loop, I like to grab it with my pointer finger and just slip it onto your hook. And then just continue doing a bowling yarn stitch like you normally would. So yarn over and pull up a loop. Take all 7 loops off of your hook. You have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both of those loops. Now I like to do it in the 3rd loop and back loop because I feel like it's sturdier, because we're going to be pulling this at the end to put it onto the hoop. So I feel like it's a little bit sturdier, and I think it makes it looks a little bit neater. But if you absolutely cannot find the 3rd loop and you get aggravated with trying to put it into the 3rd loop, you are totally fine with just putting it into the back loop, and it would be just as fine. So I will show you again. Yarn over 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you are going to go into your back loop and your third loop, just like that. You're going to yarn over, you're going to pull up a loop, take all 7 off of your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 2. So now put a bouillon stitch in your back loop and third loop all the way around, and before you fasten off, hit play, and we'll fasten off together. Alright, so this is what it looks like once you put a bouillon stitch in each stitch around right before we get ready to fasten off. It's so pretty. Okay, so to fasten off, you are going to slip stitch into your beginning chain 3, just like this, and then fasten off. Now you can place a stitch marker right here because this is where we are going to attach our white yarn, or you can just remember that that's where you need to attach it at. This is what it looks like. Okay, so now we are going to switch back to our 5mm hook, and you are going to need white yarn for this part. So grab your stuff. Okay, so this is going to be part 3. Let me zoom in a little. Okay, so for part 3, the Sclera, which is considered the white part of the eye, I like to crochet these rounds with a tighter than normal tension, but not too tight to where it's like hurting your hand tight. Just enough. Because it kind of, to me, I realize that it makes the eye shaping part just a little bit more defined if you do a tighter tension. So you are going to attach your yarn where you just fastened off at. And once again, this is how I attach my yarn. I'll show you. I make a slip knot. And I put it on my hook. Tighten it up. And you are going to attach your yarn actually in the bouillon stitch right here to the left of where you just fastened off at. So you fastened off in the chain 3, and you are going to attach your yarn into the bouillon stitch to the left of that chain 3 you just fastened off at. So, and for this round, we are going to be working in the back loop and third loop again. It kind of makes a really cool 3D effect when you do it this way, and it's just, at the end result is just really cool. So we're going to be working into the back loop and third loop around again. So attach your yarn in the back loop and third loop of the bouillon stitch. So this is how I attach my yarn. You can attach your yarn any way you like. This is just how I prefer to do it. So insert my hook into the back loop, and then insert my hook into the third loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then take that loop and pull it through just like a slip stitch into the loop that's already on your hook, and it's attached. So now you are going to chain 1, and chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And then you're going to half double crochet into the back loop of the same stitch as your chain 1. So to half double crochet, you are going to yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over again, and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Get a close up on that. Okay, and I will show you again. So for this round, you are going to put 1 half double crochet in 1 stitch. The next stitch you are going to place 2 half double crochets, and then you're going to repeat that around. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So I will show you for the next stitch. You're going to yarn over for a half double crochet, insert your hook into the back loop and third loop, just like that. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Now we're going to put another half double crochet in that stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, then yarn over and pull through all 3. And I would do a couple of stitches with you right now. So our next stitch is going to be 1 half double crochet. So let's put 1 there, just like that. And then the next stitch is going to be 2 half double crochets into that stitch, just like that. And then the next stitch will be 1 half double crochet. So do that around, pause right here and do 1 2 1 2. Do that around, and before you fasten off, hit play and we will fasten off together. Alright, so you just placed all of your half double crochets around, and this is what it looks like. I have to finish off and place 2 half double crochets into the last stitch. So here we go, half double crochet, 1 2. Okay, so now we are going to end this round by placing a slip stitch into your first half double crochet. Now this is going to kind of like tighten up where the chain 3 is and tighten it up, so you're not going to really see that chain 3 from when we did the bouillon stitches from the last 2 rounds. So slip stitch into your first half double crochet. Oops. Why? Alright, let's do this, Diamond. Get it into this stitch. Alright, there we go. Okay, slip stitch like that and pull on it, kind of, not too hard. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now you will notice that your bouillon stitches are kind of popped out, and that's exactly what you want because that's going to give it that cool little 3D effect. And then it's just kind of like if you were making a hat or something and it's coming up like this. I will get in closer to it, just like that. Kind of looks like if you were making a hat in the edges. And that is exactly what you want. Okay, so let's get started on round 6. There we go. Okay, so for round 6, you are going to chain 1, and once again, that does not count as a stitch. And then for this round, we are actually going to go into the stitches. No more back loop or third loop, we're going into the stitch. So for this round, you're going to chain 1, does not count as a stitch, and you're going to half double crochet into the same stitch as the chain 1. Okay, let's do that. And then you are going to half double crochet into the next stitch. And I should also say, sorry, speed back. Okay, so for the end of round 5, you should have 54 stitches for the end of round 5. So now we are starting round 6. Once again, we chained 1, we put 1 half double crochet into the chain 1 space, and then we put a half double crochet into the next space. So, okay, so then for the next stitch, you are going to put 2 half double crochets, 1, 2 into the same stitch, and then for the next stitch, you're going to put 1 half double crochet, 1, and then for the next stitch, 1 half double crochet, and then the next stitch, you are going to put 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. So the pattern goes 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. So 1, 2, 2. That's how I kind of remember it in my head. 1, 1, 2. So it's 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. And if that is confusing, just look at the written pattern and it will be on there as well. So let me do a couple more stitches with you. So 1 stitch into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. So do that around, and I will meet you back at the end so that we can end that round together. Alright, so you just finished putting your half double crochets to 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2 around. I just have to finish this round by placing my last 2 half double crochets. Alright, so you are going to slip stitch into your beginning half double crochet to end this round. Just like that. So we are not going to fasten off, but we are going to pull up a long hoop because we are going to place our stitch markers, and for the end of round 6 you should have 72 half double crochets around. So starting at and where you just put the loop at, we are actually going to place a stitch marker right there, just like that. If you can see right there where we pulled the loop, we are going to place a stitch marker right there. And I will zoom in right now so you can see clearly. Just like, okay. So now we are going to start placing our stitch markers. So starting at your stitch marker that you just put right here, so where you just slip stitch, the stitch you just slip stitch into, we are going to be going counterclockwise to place our stitch markers. So you are going to, you're going to need 4 stitch markers for this, and I use little bobby pins because they're easy. And you can get a lot of them, and when you lose them, you really don't care because they're like $1 a pack at the Dollar Tree. Hold on, let me change that. They're $1.25 now since the Dollar Tree went up to 25 cents to 50 cents more. Okay, back to the pattern. So from where you just placed your stitch marker right here, where you just slip stitch into, you are going to count over 4 stitches to the left. So you don't count the one that has a stitch marker in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and place a stitch marker into that stitch. Okay, so now we are going to count over 27 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. And then you are going to place a stitch marker in that 27th stitch. And then we are going to count over 9 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And place a, what happened to my stitch marker? Okay, place a stitch marker right there. And then now we are going to count over 27 stitches again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. And place a stitch marker in that 27th stitch. So this is what it should look like. Move the yarn out of the way. So this is what it should look like after you have placed all of your stitch markers. And we did this because this is where we're going to start making like the eye shaping part. So I guess you don't have to put the stitch markers, but for me it's easier to just crochet and I can know where to put certain stitches just by the stitch markers, and you get all of your counting done right now, so it just makes it a lot easier. Okay, so let's move on to round 7. So for round 7 you are going to chain 2. Let me get my yarn. I'm having trouble doing that, obviously. Okay, so you are going to chain 2, and for this round, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and you're going to double crochet into the same stitch as the chain 2, and you're going to move up your stitch marker. So let's chain 2, double crochet into the same stitch as the chain 2. Like that. Take that stitch marker out and move it up into the double crochet, just like that. And then you are going to double crochet into your next stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sorry, I had to count real quick. Don't mind me. So crochet into your stitch marker, and then you are going to move up that stitch marker and place it into that double crochet, just like that. So this is where we are right now. Okay, so then now you are going to half double crochet all the way up into your next stitch marker. You are not going to half double crochet into this stitch marker. So let's do that. So you're going to half double crochet 26 if you didn't place your stitch markers, so you're going to have double crochet 26. If you did place your stitch markers, it's still 26, but for visual purposes you're not going to half double crochet into this marked stitch, the next marked stitch. You're going to stop right before it. So half double crochet around into the next stitch marker. And then once again, I am using a tighter tension, so after I do my half double crochet, I kind of like tug it just a little bit, not too much, and that's how I do the tighter, because usually I don't always tug. So for when you're using your white yarn with this pattern, just tug it a little bit after each stitch. It would tighten it up just a little bit, but not too much. So let's make it to the stitch marker. You also can just pause the video right here and come back to when you have all of your half double crochets done up into that point. I'm just going to do it on camera right now, it's just easier. Alright, so I am one stitch right before my stitch marker. So let's place that last stitch right there. Okay, so you are going to double crochet into the next, into the next stitch marker right here. So double crochet into it. And then you are going to move up that stitch marker and put it into that double crochet that you just made. And then you are going to double crochet to the next stitch marker and into that stitch. So it's going to be 9 double crochets. So 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we are at the stitch marker for 9, and place your double crochet in there. And then you are going to want to move up this stitch marker as well. Okay, so now we're going to do what we did on this side. We are going to half double crochet right up until right before your next marked stitch. So let's do that, and once again it should be 26 half double crochets. So right here. I'm sorry if you guys hear noise in the background. My craft room is right in front of the house, right by the street. So let's place our half double crochets. I'm just going to do them on camera. It's easier. And what we're doing right now, we are shaping the eye. I guess you can call it like a almond eye. That's what we are doing right now. And you don't necessarily have to use white, but I just like to use white because that's what a normal eye has, white for that part. There we go. Alright, I have one more stitch right before my stitch marker. So let's place that one. Alright, so right here at the stitch marker, you are going to place a double crochet. And then you are going to move up that stitch marker, put it right into that double crochet, and then you are going to double crochet till the end, right before we have to finish the yarn. So it will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so you're going to do you're going to double crochet to the end, and it will be 4 double crochets. And then you are going to end this round by slip stitching into your beginning double crochet, just like that. So this is what it should look like at the end of round 7, and it's going to puff out a little bit, so you can just pat it down like that. You don't really necessarily have to, because we're still going on, and it will all take shape here in a minute. And actually, we are going to fasten off. What am I talking about? So slip stitch into your beginning double crochet, and you are actually going to fasten off here, just like that, but keep your white yarn. Alright, this is what it looks like. We are getting somewhere now. There we go. Okay, now we will be working in rows. So we're going to, where these stitch markers are at, we're going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then we're going to fasten off, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so also for these next rounds, we are going to chain 3 counts as your first stitch in the row, but it does not count as a stitch at the end of the row. So for example, you will chain 3 and not place a double crochet into that stitch because it's counted as a stitch in the beginning, but when you end a row, you will not place a double crochet into the previous row, chain 3. I will explain it more when we are about to do it, but I just thought I should, give you an explanation before. So with the right side facing you, so we just fastened off right here. So we're just gonna flip our work counterclockwise, and we are going to attach our yarn to this stitch marker, so it will be to the right of where you just fastened off at, right here. And we are going to attach our yarn to that. Where the stitch marker is, we're going to attach our yarn to that stitch. So let's do that. So let's attach our yarn to that stitch marker, and from here on out, you are not going to move up the stitch marker. We are going to keep it right there. And that's because when we get ready to do the edging and, make it all pretty and nice edging, your last stitch, how I have written the pattern so that you can place your single crochets evenly and have it look pretty, will be in this stitch. So it's just there to help you out with that part. So do not move this up. Well, that was a loud motorcycle. Okay, so attach your yarn in that stitch, marked stitch, and you are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you are going to double crochet into the next 9 stitches. So you do not put a double crochet into the same stitch as your chain 3. Let's move closer. There we go. So do not put a double crochet into that stitch. Okay, so double crochet into the next 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and right here, be careful that you do not place a double crochet into that chain, that slip stitch area right here, because it looks like it is a double crochet, but it isn't. That is that chain 2, and this is like where you slip stitched at. So make sure you put the double crochet in the actual stitch. Double crochet stitch. There we go. Okay, how many did we do already? Lost track. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and also on this round, I like to take that tail end where we fastened off at and just crochet over it, weaving it in as I go. It's just at the end, less weaving in that we have to do. So 8 and 9. Once again, do not move up that stitch marker, just double crochet into that stitch. And then now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we are going to turn our work, and we are going to double crochet into the next 8 stitches. So do not place a double crochet into this chain 3 space right here where we just chain 3 at. You are going to start your double crochet into this stitch right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now you remember in the beginning when I said you don't double crochet into the chain 3, and this is what I'm talking about. This right here is the chain 3 from the previous round, so we are not going to double crochet into that. So you should have 8 double crocheted, you should have double crocheted 8 times, not including that chain 3. We didn't count that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now let's chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and turn our work, and we are going to double crochet into the next 7 stitches. So once again, do not double crochet into the stitch of where you chain 3 right there. Don't double crochet in that one, double crochet in this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so at the end of this round, row, you are not going to chain 3. You are just going to turn your work around, and you are going to double crochet 6 together. So you are going to skip this first stitch right here, the one where your loop right here is coming out of, and you're going to start into this stitch. So it should be 6 double crochets right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So to do this, you are going to yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops, and then you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 4 loops on your hook. Then yarn over, put into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You have 5 loops. We have 2 more stitches to go through. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops. You have 6 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull up, put your hook through the next loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now you have 7 loops on your hook, and you are going to yarn over and pull through. Whoa, that was smooth like butter, that pull through. That was nice. Okay, anyways, and then you are going to pull through all 7 of those loops, and then you are going to yarn over and fasten off, and you are going to that will be like a chain 1. So you have this like this, yarn over, make a chain 1, just like that, and you are going to place a stitch marker right there in that chain 1. So let me get my stitch marker, and we're going to put it right there into that chain 1 space, and then you are going to fasten off. So how I do it, I made the chain 1, and I'm just going to pull that loop out a little bit and just pull that through, and this is what it should look like, just like that. Can you see that? Just like that. Alright, so we finished this part. Move the yarn out of the way. So this is what it looks like for side 1. So what you did on this side, where these stitch markers are, oops, you are going to do the exact the exact same thing on this side with these stitch markers. So you are going to repeat rows 1 through 4 over here exactly the same way. I will do attach the yarn and everything on this side for you, and then I'm going to let you go through and do row 1 through 4, and then we will meet back after that. So for right now, I will help you attach to this side. So what I do, I just turn my work clockwise, just like that, and then you are going to attach your yarn right here to the right of you. So let's do that. Okay, so attach your yarn into this stitch marker right here on the right. We'll pull in a little bit more. There we go. And once again, leave the stitch marker right there. Do not mess with it. And then you are going to chain 3, 2, 3. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, when you chain 1, do not fasten off for this side. You are just going to turn your work. So you can pause the video right now and do rows 1 through 4 and don't chain off, or you can come back and I will make sure I start off right before you're supposed to do the chain 1. So let's do that. So chain 3, and then you're going to place a double crochet into the next 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Just like that. And you can pause the video right here, and right when you get done with your double crochet 6 together, you can hit play, or you can just keep it playing, and I'm just gonna do this whole other side on the video as well. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work. Remember, don't place a double crochet into the stitch where the chain 3 is. There we go. Alright, and double crochet into the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Get some more yarn and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work and double crochet. Once again, do not double crochet in this stitch. There we go. Double crochet into this one. So double crochet into the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now we do not chain 3, we just simply turn our work. Remember, don't start your double crochet 6 together in this stitch, starting into this one. So double crochet 6 together. I'm not going to do it slow this time because I did it slow on the other side. There we go. If I can get my hook into the actual stitch. There we go. Alright. 7 loops on my hook, yarn over, whoa, pull through, and you are going to chain 1, And then for this side, we are not fastening off. We are just simply going to turn our work back to the right side facing us. And you can put a stitch marker right here into this chain one space, just like that. So I'm just going to pull it out so I can show you how everything looks. Look at that! The eye is coming together. This is like my favorite part because you actually start seeing it come together. And we are almost done. It's not that much more to do. Alright, so this is what it looks like after that part. So now what we are going to do is we are going to clean up the edges, because you see how these don't look too appealing. So we are going to now clean up our edges. So let's get to that part. So where you just finished off at, put your hook back there, just like that. And then you're going to place 10 half double crochets evenly down the side of the double crochets. So we're going to place 10 half double crochets evenly down the side right here where we just did this whole attachment part. And you're going to put your first half double crochet into this marked chain one space that we just made, and you're going to move up that stitch once we put a half double crochet there, and then your last half double crochet is going to be in the marked stitch right here at the end. That's why I said to keep these stitch markers in. And then, so let's do that part. So I would do that part right now with you. So I am going to just, you don't even need to chain, if that makes sense. Let me move closer to it. Okay. So we are going to put a half double crochet right here into this marked stitch. So, whoop. So put a half double crochet there. Let's actually take the stitch marker out. That might be a little helpful to put it in there. Okay, put a half double crochet in there. It might look weird at first right now, but trust me, it's going to be fine at the end. And you are going to want to put a stitch marker right there at that half double crochet. Just like that. Okay, so we placed our first half double crochet. Now I love you too, honey. Sorry, that was my daughter. So we are going to place 9 more half double crochets with our last one into this marked stitch. So I just try to put it in each of these double crochets that I made. You can do it place your half double crochets any way you like right here. It's all up to preference and how you like it. It just needs to be evenly spaced. So let me do that. So I put one right here. So 1, well 2, because this one is our first one, 2. And then it's like a little, like, I don't know what to call it. It's like a little hump thing right here. I put one right there. It's like a little right after that knot. 2. It's kind of tight to get it in there. Let's try that again. And you are going to want to make sure you're grabbing 2 strands so that, you know, you're not, let's put that through. Like, you don't want to get this right here and half double crochet right in there, because then it makes like a gaping hole. So what you want to do is, see these 2 strands right here? It kind of makes a little V. Right there. I hope you can see that. It kind of makes like a little V right there. You're going to want to put your hook through there. So because if you put it around the whole entire stitch, it's just gonna make a really ugly hole. So just don't do that. Just put it through the two right here. So just like this. There. You see how I like still have some yarn left over so that it won't be a huge hole. So 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's blurry. 6. So you just are going to find little places where you can grab 2 strands. 7. 8. 9. And then your 10th one should be right here at this marked stitch. So 10 right here. There we go. And this is how it looks. So it's just cleaner, and at the end you will see that it will be just more defined. So after that, you can actually take this stitch marker off right now if you want. I just take them off at the end, but you can take it off now if it's like annoying you. And then you are going to single crochet into the next 26 stitches. So into right before your next marked stitch right here. So single crochet into the next 26 stitches. Right up before your next stitch marker. Oh, that sound is like annoying. I might take these stitch markers out. Alright. So I'm going to do this side with you, and then we will join back together. So let's make it to the stitch marker. Go. I'm just going to lift this up because that sound is really starting to bother me with the stitch markers doing that on the table. Alright, so I have one more stitch right before my marked stitch, and I am going to place my single crochet, last single crochet right there. So right here, you are going to place your first half double crochet into the marked stitch. There. There we go. And then you are going to place 9, because this is considered your first half double crochet, 9 evenly up this side, and you with your last half double crochet into this marked chain 1 stitch. So let's do place it. So this one right here where we place 1 into the stitch marker, that's 1. So let's do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and make sure again that you're going through 2 strands so you don't make big gaping holes. How many was that? I lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, and then 9, and then our 10th one is going to be in this marked chain 1 space, and 10. Alright, so now let's just, and if you need to, you can tug on that little strand right there to make that little, because it is going to get loose, but we will tighten it up. So you can take that off, that stitch marker off. Now we're going to start working on the other side. So you're going to half double crochet 10 evenly down this side with your last half double crochet into this marked stitch. So let's see, and I like to take this tail end and I like to just crochet over it so we are weaving it in as we go. So 1, and oops. I'm not gonna lie, trying to get into these like side stitches, it's kind of hard, but once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and let's put another one, 8, 9, and then our last one will go right here, and 10. There we go. Now you are going to do the same thing that you did on this side. You are going to do it on this side. So you are going to place 26 single crochets all the way up into the next stitch marker, and then you are going to start your half double crochets at this stitch marker and place 10 evenly up this side, and then we are going to slip stitch into the beginning half double crochet. So I will meet you back right before we need to slip stitch into this stitch, into the beginning half double crochet to end this round. Alright, so we are ready to end this round and to fasten off. This is what it looks like. So let's slip stitch into the beginning half double crochet where you marked your stitch. Just take it out, be easier. Slip stitch into that, and then you are going to fasten off. Woohoo! We are done with that part. We are almost done. Now we are about to start doing the eyeliner. And this is what it looks like. See, it looks so clean since we did the cleaning up of the edges. And you can like play with it right now to see how you like it, make sure everything is right. If anything needs to be, you know, stretched out a little bit, you can do that. But right now we can take out these stitch markers. Don't need them anymore. And we are going to start with the eyeliner part. So you need your 5mm hook still, and you need your black yarn again. And we are going to attach, whoa, that's frayed. Let me cut that. Okay. And we are going to attach our yarn where we just fastened off at. Okay, so with your black yarn. And for this part as well, you do not need to use black. I just like black eyeliner because that's what I do for my eyes. So, and I think it actually makes whatever color you chose for this part to pop a little bit. So let's attach our yarn to where we just fastened off at. Right there. I will move up closer. Okay, so attach your yarn. And once again, I like to weave in my tails as I go. Just like that. So for this, you are not going to want to crochet with a too loose of a tension, but you kind of want it to be loose but not too loose so that you don't change the shape of the eye that we just did with the white. But you don't want it to be too loose to where it's like wobbling over and stuff like that. So for, you know how I said with the white yarn I tug afterwards just to tighten it up? For this, with the black yarn, you are not going to want to tug on your stitches. So, with black yarn and your right side facing you, we already did that. We already attached our yarns. We are going to chain 1, and this does not count as a stitch. And we are going to single crochet into that chain 1 space where we just did the chain 1, just like that, and place a stitch marker right there into that single crochet stitch. Alright, and then now we are going to single crochet into the back loop and third loop around. So just like how we did it for the previous rounds, how we did the back loop and third loop, you are going to do that for this round as well. So once again, the back loop, let's move up closer and I will show you. It's kind of blurry. Let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. So you're going to go into your back loop, turn it over, and this third loop right here. There we go. And for this round, the third loop is right there, right underneath that back loop. Yarn through, and you're going to single crochet. I'll show you again. So you have your back loop, right here, turn it, third loop, pull through, and it just gives it like a really, at the end you will see you have like a little line right here of the white, and it just makes it pop more. And then at the end when we add the eye shine, it makes it easier to be able to attach that. So go ahead and do single crochet around in your back loop and third loop, and meet me back right when you're ready to slip stitch to finish off this round. And at the end of this round you are going to have 92 single crochet stitches. So meet me back there, and I am going to do this right now. Okay, now we are at the end and we are ready to finish this round. We are going to slip stitch into your beginning single crochet your mark stitch right here. And at the end of this round, you should have 92 single crochets. Alright, there we go. So I like to mark my stitches where, because now we are going to make where, I guess you can say where you put, if you wear eyeliner, where you put like the thicker part on this side, and then you have like the little tiny part on this side, and down and so forth down here. So I like to mark my stitches where I'm going to be placing double crochets and single crochets. So you can do that, or you can count them out, but I am going to mark them. So I'm just going to pull up a loop right here. So starting with this, your first stitch where you marked and just slip stitched into, you are going to count 28 stitches over. So 1, which is where you just slip stitched into, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. And we are going to put a stitch marker right there at the 28th stitch. And then we're going to flip our work this way, and we are going to count over 17 stitches. So don't count the stitch where you slip stitch into. Start at the stitch where from the last round, so right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And put a stitch marker in your 17th stitch. Alright, so let's start round 2. So for round 2, you are going to chain 2, take the stitch marker out, you're going to chain 2, and chain 2 does not count as a double crochet, and you are going to double crochet in the same stitch as your chain 2. And place a stitch marker into your double crochet. And then you are going to double crochet in the next 27 stitches, or if you marked your stitch, into your next stitch, to your next stitch marker. So let's double crochet to our next stitch marker. And you are going to double crochet into that stitch marker as well, because that will be the 28th stitch. And this just kind of defines the eye even more. And I think it just makes it look a little bit more, I don't know, more like an eye if you wear eyeliner. I'm obsessed with black eyeliner, so I kind of made this pattern on how I wear my eyeliner. So I'm just going to double crochet with you. There. Alright, we're almost there. Alright, we are at the stitch marker, and we're going to put our last double crochet into that stitch marker. And you can remove the stitch marker, you don't need that anymore. So then you are going to single crochet into the next 48 stitches, or up right before your next stitch mark stitch right here. So let's do that. Single crochet. So you can pause the video right here and meet me back when you reach the next stitch marker, and we will finish off this round. Alright, so I have to place one more single crochet. There we go. And here's my marked stitch. And we are going to place a double crochet into the marked stitch. And then we are going to place double crochets all the way until the end. So it should be 17 stitches. So that's 17 double crochets. Let's do that. Double crochet until the end. It's kind of hard to see this black yarn on camera, but I hope you can see it just a little bit. And again, you don't have to use black yarn for the eyeliner part. I choose to because I think it brings out the color and it defines it a little bit more. Plus I love black, so a lot of my projects I always have some type of black in it. And make sure you do not place a stitch in the slip stitch, a double crochet into the slip stitch. Alright, we are at the end and we are going to finish this round by slip stitching into your beginning double crochet, and we are going to fasten off. And you technically are done for this motif of the eye, and this is what it looks like. Isn't it so pretty? Yeah, you did it! You did it! Hooray! Alright, yeah, don't know why I just did that. Okay, so you can stop here and you can add in the embroider, like the little white part right here, like I call it shine or whatever you want to call it. I call it shine part of your eye, and you can be done with it right here, or you can continue on and we will attach it to your hoop. But this is what the eye looks like once you get done. Okay, so if you want to attach to the hoop, keep on watching. So to attach it to the hoop, you are going to want to get your colored yarn. I use the same color that I used for this part. You don't have to. You can use whatever color you want. I just choose to use the same color. And I call this the eye burst part. Again, you can attach it to, if you choose to attach it to a hoop, you can attach it to a hoop whichever way you like. This is how I like to attach it to the hoop. So you're going to get your yarn, and you're still going to use a 5mm hook. We are going to attach your yarn where we just fastened off at. We can get rid of that stitch marker, tighten that up a little bit. Alright, and make sure you are not once again attaching your yarn into the chain 2 slip stitch area. Attach it right into your double crochet. Just like that. If I can do it. Okay, there we go. It's attached. Alright, so you are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to skip 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you are going to single crochet into the 4th stitch. And when you count over, you are not counting this stitch right here where you chained 4 in. You're going to start counting your stitches right after that one. So this is where I slip stitched into trying to get it so that you can see it. This black yarn is so hard to pick up. And then you count over 1, 2, 3 and place your single crochet into the 4th stitch. Alright? And then you are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to skip 3. 1, 2, 3 and single crochet into that 4th stitch. And then you're going to repeat chain 6, skip 3, single crochet into the 4th stitch 10 times. So that was 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet into the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's count how many we have so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have to do this set one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, that's 10 sets of chain chain 6, skip 3, and single crochet into the 4th stitch. And then you are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the 4th stitch. And then you are going to repeat what we just did. Chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the 4th. And you are going to do that 10 times. So do that 10 times and then meet me back. Alright, so I have completed 9 sets of the chain 6, skip 3, single crochet into the 4th stitch. I have one more set to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you are back at the beginning. Let me see if I can get a closer. Oh, there you go. So we are back at the beginning, and we are going to slip stitch into the actual stitch where you started your beginning chain 4. So you're going to slip stitch right here where you started your, where you attached your yarn, where you made your chain 4. Right into that same exact stitch. Just like that. And round 1 of the eye burst is complete. And it should look like this. Alright, we are moving along. Okay, so for round 2, we are going to keep doing our chains, but the pattern just a little different. So you notice that we did chain 4s pretty much here on the edges of the eye part. Right here. And that's because when we attach it to the hoop, when I did the chain 6, it was it was bunched up, because at the end I like to take a strand of yarn on each side and pull it onto the hoop like that. And the chain 6 was just too many chains and it kind of looked sloppy. So I put chain 4s at these little, guess you can say, points in the eye, at the edges of the eye right there. Okay, so let's get started with round 2. So we are going to chain 4. I bring it closer. Okay, we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are going to single crochet into the middle of the next chain 4. So this one right here, it was the beginning chain of the last round. There we go. And then we are going to, you know what, you can place a stitch marker right here just so that you can know that this was your beginning chain 4 of this round. Okay, and then we are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are going to single crochet into the middle of the next chain 6, and we are going to do this 10 times. So chain 6, single crochet in the middle of the next chain 6 10 times, and I will meet you back once you do that. Alright, so I just did 9 sets of the chain 6, single crochet into the middle of the next chain 6. I have one more to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and put that right there. So now you are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the next chain in the middle of the next chain 4. And then you're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to single crochet into the middle of the next chain 6. And then you are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you are going to single crochet in the middle of the next chain 6. And you are going to repeat chain 6, single crochet in the middle of the next chain 6 9 times. And once you do that, meet me back and we will finish up this round. Alright, so I just did the repeat of the chain 6, single crochet into the next chain 6 8 times. I have one more time to do. I already started it, so I did the chain 6, and then I need to single crochet into the next chain 6. Alright, so that's my 9. And then you are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you are going to single crochet into the next chain 4. And then you are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you are going to single crochet into the middle of the next chain 4, which is the beginning chain 4. Right there. And then you're going to place a stitch marker into that single crochet right there. And we are going to move on to round 3. So this is what the end of round 2 looks like. Right there. So we only have one more round of the eye burst before we attach it to our hoop. Yeah, we're almost done. Alright, so for round 3, bring it closer again. We are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we are going to single crochet into the middle of the next chain 6, and we are going to repeat this 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet into the middle of the next chain 6, just like that. So repeat that 10 times and then meet me back. Okay, so I just finished 9 sets of the chain 6 and single crochet in the middle of the next chain 6. I have one more set to do to complete the 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And then you are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And single crochet in the next chain 4 space. And then you are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And single crochet in the next chain 4 space. And then you are going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And single crochet in the next chain 6 space. And then you are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then single crochet in the next chain 6 space. Now here's where we start chaining 12. So you are going to chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you are going to single crochet in the next chain 6 space. And then you're going to repeat the chain 12 single crochet in the next chain 6 space in the middle of the next chain 6 space, and you're going to repeat that 7 times. So I will do it one more time on camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then single crochet in the middle of the next chain 6. So you're going to repeat that sequence, chain 12, single crochet in the middle of the next chain 6 space, repeat that 7 times, and then hit play and we will finish off this round. Okay, so I just finished my 7 repeat of the chain 12, single crochet in the middle of the next chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you are going to single crochet in the middle of the next chain 6. And then you are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then single crochet in the middle of the next chain 4. And then you are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch into the beginning single crochet where you have marked your stitch. And then that ends this round, and you are not going to fasten off because we are going to attach it to the loop. So just pull a long loop and then we'll get started on that part. Okay, so to do the white part on the eye, you are going to need some white yarn. Cut a pretty long strand of it. It's better to have more than not have enough. And then you are going to need your needle, sewing needle. Now this is how I do it. If you have a different way of doing it, that is totally fine. Do it however you want to do it. But this is just how I do it. I am not the best sewer. So I like to put it on my right side with my work facing me. So I like to start right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. There you go. So I like to come in from behind. Just like this. And I like to go through the top of the chain, not the chain, of the double crochet. So like this area right here. And then I like to bring it to the top of the treble from those lines, just like that. So I come in from behind and I like to make it kind of like on the side like that. So I come in between, let's see if I can get this. So I come in between the top of the double crochet. It has like a little V right here, and I like to come in between that. It's kind of, but again, this is however you want to do it. This is just the way that I do it. And then I leave a pretty long, not too long, maybe about 6 inches of a tail in the back. Like that. And then I like to kind of map out how big I want the shine to be. So then I will come over to my right. I want to be about that wide. And I go in. I think I cut too much yarn. And then I like to come in from the back to where I want it to end. So I think that looks okay. About, let's see. This right here is just all a guessing game. I really do not have like proper instructions, I guess you can say, on how to do this. So I just like kind of map out how I want it and how big and how wide, like this. And then I go through again like that at my starting point. Sorry if I keep coming off camera. Just like that. And then I just fill in between the two white strands of yarn. Now this part is actually optional too. You don't need to do this. The pattern's fine without it. I just like to do it. It just adds in extra details. And I just love details. And I am actually going to cut some of this yarn. It is a little bit too much. Okay, that's a lot better. And then I just keep doing that, and I try to hide it in between the stitches. You want to make sure you're not grabbing your like all these strands. You could sew in all of your loose ends. I didn't do it yet, but if that will help you, you can do that. And then I just go through. So I would just show you how I'm doing it. Again, you can do it however you want. I am not the best at this. I absolutely hate sewing with a passion. I would bring it out more so I can stop coming off the camera. There we go. But if you have any tips, let me know. Comment below. Because I said it once already, I absolutely hate sewing. I hate embroidery. I don't know. I just don't like it. I just couldn't get into it, I guess. I think because I tried it and then I kept poking myself and drawing blood to the point where I was just like, I'm over it, and I never went back to it. And like I limit myself with like crochet and knitting if it has way too many if I have to sew at all. I just won't do it. I'll just find a way around it. Alright, and then you just keep going through. I think I caught a tail. There we go. And you can do this as wide as you want, as small as you want. It's really up to you. And we are almost done with this. We just have to put it on the hoop and like add our stuff, add our like strands. And once again, you don't need to put it on the hoop. You can just leave it like this and do whatever you want with it. I like to use it as a wall hanging to be a symbol of like the evil eye or just the eye of protection. I have several colors that I made. My daughters requested a pink one, so I have this whole design in my head on how I'm gonna put it in their room. Alright, I think one more right here to cover up. I just like to make sure I have no black showing between the two strands that I marked out. Alright, just like that. What is this strand coming from? There we go. And then I like to take it before I tie it off. I like to kind of like fluff it up a little bit. And fluff those bullion stitches so it kind of covers it. Like that. So you can just play around with it, see how you like it. Okay, so you remember when I said to make sure you don't sew in around the strands of yarn in the back? Well, obviously I didn't listen to my own advice and I just went crazy. So, if you do this, you just have to detangle it. No big deal. So don't do with me. Actually, you probably best if you do sewing your ends before you do this part. But I was being lazy and I didn't listen to my own advice and I didn't do it. Okay, so just take all of them out. Just like that. And then make sure the front looks good. And then we are going to move on to sewing in our ends. Okay, so I finished this off by just cutting the excess like that. And then I just make a little knot like that. Then I just take my crochet hook, wrap it around like that, and I just drag the ends in like that. Then I do it again like that, and then I cut the tail. Flip it around, puff it up, however you want. If you tightened it up a little bit, puff up the bullion stitches like that. And just mess around with it until you like how it looks. And then it looks like that. I'm gonna cover that one up. I'm gonna spread it around. Alright, and there we go. That's what that looks like. That part right there is starting to really annoy me. I feel like I'm gonna just tuck that in. Perfect. There you go. Alright, so we are done with this part. So now we are going to weave in our ends. So turn it over, and if you did like I did, and you weaved them in while you were crocheting, I just go through now and I just cut those ones off like that. It's so much easier when you do it when you're crocheting. Those ones I didn't do. Did I do that one? Nope. Some of them I couldn't do it because it was like the end of a round. So I just go through and cut the ones that I did. Make sure you do not cut the working strand on there. And then you just go through and weaving your ends. So for the middle part right here, the black in the middle, I like to close that up when I weave it in, just to make sure that it doesn't open up. Doesn't open up. There we go. And I just go around the circle. Just like that. Give it a tug. Cut it off. Okay, so now weave in all of your ends if you haven't, and then I will meet you back to show you how to attach it to your hoop. Alright, so now that all of your ends are weaved in, so this is what the back looks like. And then this is what the front looks like. I love these colors, so pretty. So now this is what the pretty much what the finished eye looks like. So now we just need to attach it to the hoop. So get your 16-inch hoop. I have gold here, and you are going to need your 5mm hoop, and you are going to want to attach this like this. So best way to explain this is to zoom out a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna move my little radio out of the way. Okay, so the best way to do this is, let me zoom out a little bit more so you can see the whole thing. Okay, so I have my hoop right here, and then I place my work right on top of it, just like that, so that it's basically on top of the hoop, so that your working yarn strand is on top and not behind the hoop, just like that. Then you're going to want to put your hook in. There we go. Tying up the loop, and then grab your hoop And you are going to want to, I will zoom in so you can see. Okay, so you are going to want to have your working strand right here on top of the hoop in front of it, and then your hook right here, and you are going to want to grab the yarn from behind. So put your hook underneath your hoop like that, and then grab that yarn and pull up just like that, and then make a single crochet like that. That's how I attach it to my hoop. If you have a different way that you would like to attach it, you can do it that way. And I like to put a stitch marker here because this is where we are going to fasten off at the end of the round. Just like that. And then you are going to single crochet around your hoop, just like this, just like you did in before. Like that. You go put your hook under, grab the yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, and then pull through all 2 loops on your hook. Just like that. So you are going to single crochet 10 times around your hoop without grabbing your eye. And then you are going to single crochet in the middle of the chain 6 or the chain 4 when you get to it, or the chain 12. So I will show you right now. So I have 1, 2, 3. And once again, you get your hook, you put it underneath your hoop, you grab the yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, and then pull through all 2. And that's single crocheting around the hoop. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of hard to do this on camera because I usually place the hoop on top of my thigh and I single crochet like that because then I can kind of stabilize the hoop. And it won't be like flopping around everywhere. And I can go like a lot faster that way. Okay, I lost count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, and 10. And once you get the hang of it, you can zoom through this. Alright, so then I push these beginning 10 back a little bit like that, and then you grab the chain 6 right here, and then you go like this. You go underneath the chain and you go underneath your hoop, and then you grab it just like how if you were single crocheting around your hoop, you're just going underneath the loop this time, and then you finish it off just like that, and then tighten it up. So I will show you one more time. Let's do 10. One, 2. This is so hard trying to do it on camera. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, and then you grab the chain 6, you put your hoop underneath that, just like if you were going to single crochet in the middle of the chain 6. So you're going to go into the middle of that chain 6, go underneath your hoop, grab your yarn, pull it through from underneath your hoop and underneath your chain 6, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both hoops, and make sure you tighten this because you don't want like a big chunky single crochet right there. So continue that around just like that. So single crochet around the hoop 10 times, and then single crochet in the middle of the chain 6, the chain 4, the chain 12, and around your hoop together like this. And then we will fasten off. And actually I will meet you back when you get to this and when you get to your chain 12, so I can just show you how I single crochet in the middle of that. But it's just the same concept. It's just that this chain is longer than the chain 6 and the chain 4. And if you find that you don't need 10 single crochets in the middle of each chain like this, you can use less single crochets. If you find that you need more single crochets, you can use more. You don't even need to attach it to the hoop like this. You can just get a string and kind of... Alright, so I'm at the part where the chain 12 part, and I'm just going to show you how it looks when you single crochet in the middle of the chain 12. Just like that. And this is what the difference looks like. Turn it around this way. So it's just it just adds a little bit more detail to the design, and it just looks a little bit prettier that way. So I'm going to finish off this little bit of section that I have right here, and before I fasten off, I will hit play and we will fasten off together. Okay, so you know how when I said that you don't need a chain single crochet 10 times around the hoop, you kind of got to play it by ear between when you're going to single crochet in the middle of either the chain 6, chain 12, or the chain 4. So here's an example where I'm finishing off of the round, and I don't necessarily need 10 right here between single crocheting and the last chain 4. And I'll get a close up between the last chain 4 and fastening off. So I'm just going to put, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to do 6. And then I'm going to single crochet in the middle of that chain 4 and around the hoop. And then I kind of just move all of my stitches around to see how I like it and if it's in the spot that I want, just like that, to see how many I want to finish off this. So I think I'm only going to do maybe 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now we are about to fasten off. Right here where your stitch marker is, it's kind of leaning in towards your work. Just pull up your stitch marker and slide your hook in there. Slip stitch into that first single crochet and then fasten off. Just like that. And then just go around and fix your work up. like to get the strand that I just fastened off at and pull it underneath. Actually, no, this way. Give it a good tug, like that. And then I like to go and pull it like this way when I weave in that end. So let's do that. And I just weave it in between the single crochets wherever you feel comfortable or you think looks good, that it doesn't show up on the other side. Okay. And then this is how it looks when it's on the hoop. So we just have 2 more parts to do, and then you are going to be completely done. Okay, so you are going to, this is completely optional, but I think it makes the eye look a lot better and just more defined. I like to get a piece of yarn and put it on each side of the eye right here and stretch it out like that, so it's like a really defined eye. And I pick my spot by right here in the beginning. It looks like this right there, so it's where you started off your first little chain 6s, and in the beginning round right here after the black, the eyeliner. So you would see this looks like this. And then that's where I put my first strand on my right side at. And then on my other side, right here, this is the eyeliner part. And then this is our first round of the chain 6 and single crochets. And I like to put right here, it's 3. In between this this single crochet and this single crochet, and right here where the black eyeliner is, I like to get a piece of yarn and put it in the 3rd stitch right here. And I will show you. So I get it, I put my hoop through the 3rd stitch of the eyeliner between those 2 single crochets, and then I kind of match it to see, kind of stretch it to see where it should be, where it looks good and it's even. And then I come from behind and I insert my hook on one of the single crochets on around the hoop. I grab it and I pull my yarn through, and then I go and do that on the other side as well. Put it right there, pull it through, and just go like this to see where I should have it. And I like to pull on this side where I fastened off at. It usually ends up lining up very well to pull my strand through where I fastened off. And then I just flip my work around, and then I tie a very tight knot. And you want to tie it somewhere on the hoop, so keep kind of like pushing it tight just like this until you can get it actually where on the hoop, where the knot is actually on the hoop, kind of hiding it. I double knot it, then I go on to the other side and I do the same thing. just like that. And then I weave in those ends. So I'm going to weave in these ends and then I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so this is what it looks like after you sew in or weave in your ends for, you know, tightening up each end of the eye. It just like makes it look, you know, so defined and just a very defined eye right now if you put the 2 strands just to tighten it up. So the next step is to add a piece of yarn in the middle up here, wherever you like, just in the middle. It's kind of just eyeball it. I like to take my hook in the middle part of the eye right here and kind of put it right there and eyeball it. And then you are going to want to put a piece of yarn on in the middle of one of the single crochets where you single crocheted around the hoop, and place a piece of yarn through there. And this is what's going to hang. Just like that. And then I just tie a knot like that. And you can do this any way you like. I just do it this way. Then I just pull it in the back so you don't see the knot in the front. And there you go. You have where you need to hang it. Okay, now the last step. You are going to need white yarn, and you are going to want to cut 40 inches, 11 strands at 40 inches, and then you're going to want to fold it in half. And then we are going to attach the eye shine now. Okay, so you are going to want to have 11 pieces of your white strands of yarn ready to go, and you're going to place your first one right here. Right here. So it will be the last stitch of your eyeliner. Right there. Hope you can see that. And then you're going to want to put your hook in that loop. So this is the loop where when with the eyeliner round, we went and double crocheted into the back loop. So this is going to be the front loop of that round. And you're going to want to insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull it through, if I can get it, pull it through, and then you're going to want to take it, make sure it's straightened and not twisted, and make a knot, just like that. And then you're going to want to do that with all 11 of your strands. Okay, so this is what it looks like after you add all 11 strands of yarn. And you are done. You completed the evil eye. Congratulations. So now you can either leave it like this and trim up your shine however you like, or you can add strands of yarn at the bottom, or a cute macrame piece, or whatever you like. Like I showed you in the beginning of the video, the several ways I like to add my yarn. So I will show you how I add it when I'm just doing strands of yarn. So I just look at it and see where it evens out a little bit. So these two spots, so about these two look good. So I'm going to add yarn right here. So I do it just like how you attach the white strands right here. I just put my hook through. I will zoom in for you. So I just put my hook through one of the single crochets that's on the hook, on the hoop I mean, like that, and then I grab my yarn, and I usually cut about 52 inches of yarn, and I really can't tell you how many strands that I use. I just go with the flow and kind of fill it up and do whatever looks good, but I do cut my strands of yarn at 52 inches and then I fold them in half. So then you just pull your yarn through just like how we did the white strands up there, and then you just grab it and make a loop. And then I go on to the other side because I like to mark where my beginning and end are going to be, so then all I have to do is fill in between. And then it just helps even it out a lot and makes it easier. So I'm going to do right here. So I just do the same thing on this side. Insert my hook in one of the single crochets that's around the hoop. Grab my yarn, pull it through, and then make a knot. So this is what it looks like that. So here are my two. Okay, so this is what it looks like right here that when I added my two strands. So now I would just go through and start filling in these spaces, and I usually like to put some black in there as well so it can make the eye pop where the eyeliner is, and then I do the main color that I did for this part of the eye where we did the bullion stitches, and then I just fill in between this strand and put yarn all through here, and then I just cut it however I want, and then that's how I attach. And that is it. You are done with your eye. So if you decide to make this, make sure you tag me on Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, wherever your platform you use. Only thing I don't have is a Twitter. And let me know how you like it, and I can't wait to see everybody's finished pieces. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like my channel. Thank you.